Naexi here! Welcome to my very first Luna theory. I'll be going over my personal theory for the pre-debut era and how I think the solo and subunit videos are placed on a timeline. I've also included some of the unreleased cinema theory videos in my timeline, as some of them are very relevant to the lore and certain clips will be in the video, but there will also be a link in the description if you want to watch all of them. A few disclaimers before we begin. When I'm talking about the girls and their relationships, I am referring to them only within the lore. I do not ship the girls in real life, that's invasive and weird, but for the sake of the story, I do believe some of their interactions lean on the romantic side. This is also my own personal theory, with evidence presented to me from other orbits theories and thoughts as well. Please take this with a grain of salt, as some LOONAVERSE theories have never been confirmed outright by BBC. As always, the LOONAVERSE is always expanding, and I'm sure others will find holes in my theories, but this is just for fun and I will be treating it that way. Let's get started. I hope if you are watching this video, you are at least familiar with the girls, their image colors, and their representative animals. If you haven't watched their solo and subunit music videos, you should go ahead and watch them so this breakdown makes a little more sense, but not in the order that my timeline has laid them out. You should watch them in the order of the girls' debuts. It's similar to how you should watch the Star Wars films, in the order of when they were made, not when they fall on the timeline. Here is a graphic I've made to show how I think the solo and subunit videos lay on a timeline. I will try to go in order here, but since I don't think the LOONAVERSE is linear, this may prove difficult in some cases. I'll be referencing the official music video descriptions as well as album promo text through this video because this is the only way BBC has confirmed certain parts of the lore. I also believe that some pieces of these descriptions reference past and future storylines no matter where they are placed on the timeline, so it might seem like I'm jumping around a lot. These boxes are what I consider moments that push the story forward, and you'll notice some music videos and clips are placed in between them because I do think they are relevant to the lore, but not in the sense that they should stretch out the timeline further. If they are placed on the black line, that means I consider the video to have taken place on both planes. There is a popular theory coined by Croissant de Luna called the color theory that states because Heejin is the first girl, she is God and wants to mold the LOONAVERSE by painting it with colors, thus creating all of the other girls. She then enlists Eve, Vivi, and Olivia Hay as her angels to complete this task. I do believe their image colors are very relevant to the lore, but not in the way that this theory describes. I believe all of the girls are on equal playing fields in terms of powers and hierarchy, so Heejin being God just doesn't line up with this. To be clear, that is the only aspect of this theory I don't believe, but beyond that, I do believe the color theory correctly shows how the girls, being different colors, interact with each other and change or acquire their true colors. In another video, I will explain what I think the driving force behind Luna is and who they are, but for the ease of this video, I will simply state that I think their memories have been wiped and how we see them in their solos is indicative of a clean slate. They have forgotten who they are and what their purpose is. They have also forgotten each other, their friendships, and their relationships with each other. I will not be going over my personal theories for each of the solos, but if you'd like to see those, then let me know. Instead, I'll be following the timeline I've laid out here and explaining it column by column. A girl will make her appearance and through interactions with the other girls gain her memories back. Their colors are metaphors for their memories, goals, relationships, and everything that makes them Luna. So interacting and meeting with other members results in their true hues to come forth, and I believe in some cases the colors have to mix for their memories to be obtained. I'll then present the evidence of why I think that particular video is placed where it is. It's also worth noting that I think the LOONAVERSE is divided into 3 separate planes: Earth, the In-Between, and Eden. Luna 1/3, Odd Eye Circle, and YY by Y reside within those planes respectively. Credits to Caskerbox for laying out the planes in this easy to understand fashion. Starting with Sweet Crazy Love, I believe this video is actually a precursor to the entire LOONAVERSE. All 12 girls are stuck in a loop, aka the Mobius strip, and they have been for a while. If you don't know what a Mobius strip is, it's a one-sided object that requires you to loop twice before returning to your starting point. I believe Odd Eye Circle are the first to realize this, as Sweet Crazy Love is the only music video described as a prequel and very clearly happens directly before Eclipse. They are also seen as the only girls who seem to be searching for the others, later shown in Girlfront, Lunatic, and even Hi Hi. The Mobius puts the girls closer than they ever have been before, resulting in their Odd Eyes awakening. This can be seen if you imagine Kimlip is passing here, while Chetty is passing here. They are all on the same side, but at different points of the Mobius. The music video is also completely black and white until a certain point, representing the realization within the girls. Kimlip's color is discovered to be red, Jinsoul's is blue, and Chetty's is not yellow, it's purple. Red and blue combine to make purple, but what about the third primary color? Who pulled out Jinsoul's earbud? More on that later. Odd Eye Circle has awakened, but they are not yet together, which brings us into Eclipse, Singing in the Rain, and Love Cherry Motion. In the description of Eclipse, it says, Kimlip is a 19-year-old girl who starts to draw a new circle, different from the one drawn by the previous members, and with the introduction of Kimlip, Luna eclipses. So I'm moving right past Eclipse because I don't feel like it coexists with any other video. It is simply her beginning. Singing in the Rain is a little more complicated because I believe it is happening at the same time as Every Day I Need You. At this point in time, Jinsoul is stuck in the basement, so to speak, in Hong Kong where Vivi resides. Once Jinsoul overcomes her own personal journey within her solo, she is able to walk freely once again. Jinsoul can now return to the in-between, but not before leaving a present for Chetty, who I think starts out on Earth. It does get a little more complicated starting here, particularly between Love Cherry Motion and Girlfront. Some of the heaviest lore is within that time period, but there are many instances of the girls interacting with each other and thus gaining their colors, so let's break it down. Because Earth, where 1/3 resides, is on an equal yet separate plane to the in-between where Odd Eye Circle resides, Let Me In, Kiss Later, and Love Cherry Motion are all happening simultaneously. While the two former are showing an internal struggle, the latter is showing what is happening in real time. To show this, let's first take a look at Kiss Later's opening, which is blue, and Let Me In's opening, which is red. In Love Cherry Motion, we see Yeojin wearing red and Hodusae wearing blue. This is intentional, as they have not yet found their true colors, and I'll explain how they obtain them later. Chetty discovers in Love Cherry Motion that by eating a cherry, she enters the in-between, and shortly thereafter finds the mirrors only she can use properly. Jinsoul knows this, which is why she left the cherry in the first place, because Jinsoul is limited in her ability to travel far distances, and can only do so by eating cherries. Love Cherry Motion is placed between the two planes because Chetty bounces between the two during the music video. Next we have the Odd Eye Circle reveal teaser as the girls are closer to reuniting. It's placed here because it was this teaser that confirmed Jinsoul left the cherry for Chetty. At the same time, My Melody is happening with Yeojin and Hodusae on Earth. In the Sonatine description, it reads, Hodusae is a warm friend who is like a mother to Yeojin, which shows how they have a very close familial bond. Next up is Vivid, where Heejin wishes for her boring world to be filled with color. While I don't believe Heejin is God, I do think Vivid is a metaphor for the entirety of the LOONAVERSE. Wanting her world to be filled with color is the subconscious longing to reunite with her friends. Following this, I put the Love and Live remix here simply because it includes Heejin, Hodusae, Vivi, and Chetty, who have all been introduced so far. Since Chetty can now shift between planes, she decides to make contact with some of the other girls on Earth. Yeojin is not present, because it's been noted that she has wandered off and needs to find her way back to the other girls. Taking a look at Girlfront, we get our first glimpse of another girl and the third primary color, Hyunjin. In Girlfriend, we witness Odd Eye Circle trying to find one another. We also get a look at the three using their Odd Eye powers to the furthest extent. Kim Lip has extreme speed, Jinsul has the ability to teleport short distances, and Chetty with her confirmed use of being able to shift between the planes. When Odd Eye Circle finds Hyunjin, she is sent back to Earth, where her own journey in Around You begins and she meets Heejin. Remember Hasil and Yeojin in Love Cherry Motion? Hyunjin's yellow is then given to Hasil's blue to create green, and also given to Yeojin's red to create orange. Thus the components of 1/3 are there but not yet together. You might ask, well, Hasil and Yeojin interacted with Chetty, so why weren't their true colors revealed then? There are two reasons for this. The first being, Odd Eye Circle had not yet formed at that point, so Chetty had not obtained purple. Not only that, but I believe that before Odd Eye Circle sent Hyunjin back to Earth, both her and Chetty were interchangeable mirrors of one another. When Chetty is on Earth with Hasil and Yeojin, Hyunjin resides in the in-between as the third primary color, yet she was lost. During Girlfriend, Odd Eye Circle makes it their task to reunite and locate the other girls. So once Hyunjin was found, and Chetty found her place with Kim Lip and Jin Sol, Hyunjin was sent back to Earth. Basically, Hasil and Yeojin couldn't obtain their true colors until Hyunjin was on Earth. We can see the physical representation that Odd Eye Circle is complete when they join hands and the 3 colored moons are shown. Rewinding a little to take a look at Around You, we get the famous scene of her finding a bracelet outside her doorstep, and it is here we get our first look at the third plane, Eden. There is an unreleased seesaw clip that shows Go-won and Chu making that exact bracelet and sending a cat to deliver it to Hyunjin. I've included the YY by Y teaser for one here because the subtitles are very interesting. I am thou, thou art me. It insinuates the 4 girls are 4 different parts of the same person. They each represent faith, love, hope, and anger of a singular person. Using this analysis, I think this singular person that YY by Y embodies has shown herself a couple of different times before. I think this is the same person who pulled Jinsul's earbud out, and that she is also the girl who is circling Odd Eye Circle during Lunatic. It's YY by Y's call to action and denial of Eden that helps Odd Eye Circle on their journey to reunite. Lunatic is also along the same column because while it seems like Girlfriend B-roll, this particular scene is very important. A lot of theories think Olivia Hay was the person to appear here during these 2 scenarios, but I believe YY by Y as a whole is the one to have evaded Odd Eye Circle thus far. When YY by Y denies Eden and sins, they are manifested as 4 different girls and can each proceed in their individual journeys. Taking a look at Earth for a moment, first we have I'll Be There and My Sunday, showing the budding relationship of Heejin and Hyunjin after they meet in the last few seconds of Around You. It's mentioned in several descriptions that they are friends from school and are in the same grade, so these videos not only strengthen that idea but also present a probable romantic interest. Hyunjin is recovering from a case of unrequited love and finds solace in Heejin. Next we have Vivi's letter to Hong Kong, which is quite eerie because it seems to start off as a regular vlog and then cuts to showing Jinsul in the aquarium in her sweet crazy love attire. I believe this video to be a false memory that Vivi has. Reconstructed memories from her time with the other 1/3 girls, as well as fleeting memories of Jinsul in Hong Kong. See, Vivi is the only member to have her memories tampered with multiple times, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Let's talk about the Starlight clip. As Girlfriend ends and Odd Eye Circle are spending time together and continuously searching for the other girls, Chetty notices something odd. She decides to wait for quite a while, hoping to find out what it is. Eventually, another girl approaches her and it turns out to be Eve, who is out and about as a precursor to Nu. Chetty has finally found the first of the final 4 members. Before we get into Nu, I just want to mention that this music video is probably my favorite amongst the solos for being so rich and full of clues to the LOONAVERSE. Eve has decided to defy God and willingly takes a bite of the apple in order to break out of Eden. she meets Vivi and discovers the joy of being free, thus obtaining her color burgundy. Their relationship is very interesting because I personally believe that Vivi represents Eve's forbidden fruit, the apple. As far back as Vivi's album promo text, it says, "Vivi drew attention with looks as refreshing as an apple." Vivi represents what drew Eve to defy Eden, which is perhaps why she is punished in the form of having her memories tampered with. Every Day I Love You and New are direct parallels of each other. So what Eve is experiencing is actually happening, but Vivi has a false perception of the events that transpired. This is why Every Day I Love You is dreamily slow and romanticized, compared to Every Day I Need You, which looks clear yet slightly dull. The boy we see Vivi spending time with in Every Day I Love You represents Eve, who she fawns over romantically. Every Day I Love You is the last music video we see Yujin in, while Eve is seen picking up the frog in the vending machine, indicating the point at which I think Yujin ran away and got lost. Eve also picks up the owl plush, representing Kim Lip. The music video description for Eclipse says, "Will Yujin find her way towards the other members without wandering off somewhere else?" And in Kiss Later, she is seen running towards the darkness. Perhaps I am grasping at straws here, but to me it reads as if Kim Lip's Eclipse casts a shadow of darkness in which Yujin ran into and subsequently got lost. There aren't a ton of explanations as to why Eve pulled the owl plush from the crane machine, but that's my personal interpretation. I added the Carol 2.0 here mainly because it solidifies that Eve, Chetty, and Vivi have a solid connection. It's placed during the Christmas season, right before the Carol and Heart Attack, which are both in the winter as well. Vivi also isn't in the Carol, which would make sense because she is clearly spending time with Eve and Chetty. I know it seems silly to place the Carol right after the Carol 2.0, but for the timeline's sake, I believe it falls right where Heart Attack lies. As the description for Heart Attack reads, the music video has references to Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Match Girl. Chu is enamored with Eve and follows her closely, but the events of her spending time with Eve are a hallucination. But she does in fact take a bite from the strawberry, signifying the return of her image color, peach. At the end of the music video, we see Hassel in the same outfit we see her in the Carol. Hassel wakes Chu up, confirming she has denied Eden and is now on Earth. I added Rain 51dB and Sonatine here, just to represent that Luna 1/3 is together, although I don't think they are happening at the same time as One and Only. They just fall sometime before Egoist. But next we have One and Only, where Gowon needs quite a bit of persuasion from Eve and Chu to deny Eden. When she takes a bite of the pineapple, she obtains Eden Green. It's also common belief that New, Heart Attack, and One and Only are each of Eve, Chu, and Gowon's internal perspectives of love forever, as they each tell the story of how they chose to defy Eden and follow Eve. In Love Forever, we see Eve recruit Chu and Gowon, but perhaps one of the biggest questions is why she chose to leave Olivia Hay behind. Olivia tries to follow them and desperately attempts to fit in with them multiple times, but she is left out. Whatever the reason, next we see Egoist, which is typically thought of as the aftermath of Love Forever. Olivia Hay is rightfully angry that she was left behind and wants to enact her revenge upon Eve. This is a pretty unpopular theory amongst orbits, but in her own quest to deny Eden and obtain the color silver, I personally think she chose to kill Vivi as a way to get back at Eve. Olivia believed that Eve loved Vivi and wanted to strike where it would hurt the most. The imagery within Egoist that supports this would be the burning of the swan stuffed animal, the burning of the cassette tapes which were last seen in New when Eve was listening to them, the subsequent wolf clips, and even the blood. Look, I know it's a common misconception that there's a stock photo within the music video that a lot of people think is a deer. I know it's not a deer, there's no deer in Egoist. But wolves are often known to hunt deer, and taking a bite of the blood plum signifies a darker meaning to me. How was Olivia able to succeed in this plan? Jinsol helped her get to Earth with the cherries. This ends Egoist on a pretty dark note, but at last we see Heejin meet Olivia after she broke free from Eden. I truly did not plan to have exactly 12 columns on my timeline, but here we are. The events after Egoist aren't super clear, but Vivi was resurrected as an android. We see her in Love and Live and You and Me Together very emotionless, unable to ingest human drinks and with incredible strength and reflexes. She must use a battery pack to recharge, and she's having a harder time fitting in with the rest of the 1/3 girls. She doesn't appear to be an android for very long because Hi Hi is considered a direct sequel to Love and Live, as seen by her outfit in both music videos. It's also confirmed she was turned back into a human after Love and Live because she rediscovers an emotion she knows she didn't have as an android. I like to think this is another instance of her rose pink color returning her memories to her as well. One of the biggest questions of the Loonaverse is how she was turned into an android in the first place, and I have my own thoughts, but you'll have to find out in my next video. I'll be explaining the Loonaverse as a whole and who or what could be the driving force behind all of these events. I really hope you enjoyed my theory on the pre-debut timeline. It's been a long time coming, and I've been working on it for so long. Let me know your own theories in the comments. I would love to see them. Also, Orbits, don't forget to subscribe to your new favorite VTuber and follow me on Twitter too. Thank you so much. Bye bye!